All right, I am recording. Let's start. So let's start with this equation, example 1. There's really not a huge trick to solving this stuff. We've just got to take it nice and slow. So I'm going to help you at the beginning, and then I'm going to kind of leave it to you a little bit. All right, 2 sine of theta plus 1 equals 0. And we're trying to solve for theta. Anybody have an idea of what we should do? Jackson.
Bring the 1 over.
Yeah, let's start just like it's a regular problem. We're going to subtract 1. So now we've got 2 sine of theta equals negative 1. Now what? Divide by 2. Sine of theta equals negative 1/2. So now what do? We need to, you can't divide by sine. This is like the sine of theta. This is a whole package together. Okay? So what we have to do right now is we can do one of two things. You can either use inverse sine on your calculator to find that angle. Remember how when we were finding angles in a triangle? Or this one is actually just straight on your unit circle. 1/2 should sound familiar, right? So look on your unit circle. Where are we looking? Are we looking for an x or a y that equals negative 1/2? A y.
210.
210 is one option. What else?
330.
Does everybody see how at 210 and at 330 the answer is negative 1/2? Now there are two different types of questions they could ask you. What happened, Emma? You get very frightened eyes. Do you understand where it is on your unit circle? Yep. Okay. There's two ways they could ask you this problem, not just in your homework, but like on a test, okay? If they said that I want an answer between 0 and 2 pi, then you've done it. You've answered, or 0 what? 0 and 360. And usually they put that as an indication of what they want your answer to look like. So if they write it like this, they want it in radians. If they write it like this, they want it in degrees. And these are all the answers between 0 and 360. But are these all the answers completely? No, because the unit circle keeps going, right? So what you could do is you would say 210 degrees plus 360k. That means that you can add 360 or subtract 360, and that would also be an answer. As many times as you want. Same thing here, plus 360k. So it really depends on if the problem is asking you only wants answers between 0 and 360, or if they're saying they want all answers. So this is what it would look like if they wanted all answers. Example 2. All right, this one's a little harder. Hey Jackson, go get a prize for helping me with that last problem. Oh, by the way, I need new I'm Winner signs, Crystal, when you get a chance. If you want an I'm Winner sign, you're just going to have to wait.
Oh, I don't like one of those.
Okay. All right, so everybody write down the sine times tangent equals sine. You might be tempted to try to write it in x's and y's, and that's not going to help, I'll tell you right now. The best way to do these problems is usually by factoring something out, using a quad program, solving like a regular problem. Like if you kind of imagine this being like 2x plus 1 equals 0, you know how to solve that problem, right? You would subtract 1, divide by 2. And this is very similar, except for we're going to put it all on the same side first.
Not divide these or no?
You can divide these, but if you divide by sine on both sides, then you're going to lose one of your answers. So
So it could be just tangent equals 1.
no, because then you would lose an answer. Because it could also actually be that that sine of theta equals 0, because that would 0 this side out and 0 that side out, and that would work as well. So if you divide by like a whole function, then you start losing some of your answers. So you could divide, but you start not having all the answers then. So don't do that. Okay, so if we factor out, what can we factor out of this? Sine of thetas in both. On the first one, we're left with tangent after we take it out. What are we left with on the second one? -1. Do you guys remember what we would do when we were factoring and solving equations and we had two factors and it said equal 0? Caitlin? Yeah. Yep. So if I factor a sine out of this one, I'm left with tangent. It's kind of like a backwards distribution, remember? So, but if I factor a sine out of this one, I'm left with just a 1. So this is like what I factored out, and this is like the leftovers over here. Okay, so now I've got two things in factors and it equals 0. Do you guys remember how to solve this? Set them both equal to 0. So now we've got the sine of theta equals 0, and the tangent of theta minus 1 equals 0. So first you've got to look at your unit circle and find out where sine equals 0. And then we've got to set this one equal to 0 by moving that 1 on the other side. And then you got to find out where tangent equals 1. So why don't you try this with your partner right now. Find all the answers from 0 to 360. You don't have to add the 360k or anything like that. Talk to your partner. Where does sine equal 0? Where does tangent equal 1? Positive 1. All right, so let's go from the interval, everybody. We're going to go from 0 degrees to 360. Hey, look what I wrote and tell me what it means before you continue. What does it mean to have bracket on one end and the parentheses on the other? No. I'm not counting 360. I'm counting everything up until 360, but not 360 itself. So I would count 0 as an answer, but I would not count 360. I'd count 359.999999999. But that parenthesis means it's like an open circle on like a number line, okay? All right, keep going with your partner.
The other ones are right, unless that's wrong. That's not good.
Man, I have had a headache all day today.
Have you had enough coffee?
I think so. I think maybe I just didn't have enough water yesterday, actually. I drink a lot more water. And some aspirin. All right, you guys ready? We need some more time. Okay. All right. Somebody raise their hand for a prize. I only need one of you, not both of you, to talk. So who's up for it? Be brave. Come on. Again, either of you can go for this. Do you want to be in two? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Anybody else want in because they didn't realize that they were separate? You're not doing this with your partner, so you're 7. Number 5. Who's number 5?
I think let's go after whoever's after.
So one of us go?
Yep, thank you. Sierra?
I'll go, yep.
Okay, tell me.
So the sine theta
Yep,
equals 0 would be 180 degrees,
that's true.
and then the tangent,
But there's one more.
will it be 360, but you said from 0 degrees to 360.
Right, but 0 and 360 are the exact same thing, and 0 is included, so we're gonna write 0 down, but not 360 down.
So 0 degrees.
Okay, so that's one.